talking about
You are too kind.
I would love to shift the conversation and really wrap up the conversation,
Yep, no problem.
putting the focus back on you. And I like to wrap up each episode with a bit of a rapid fire game. Let's end with the 3, 2, 1 game. So I'd like you to share three saxophonists that have been influential in your development, 2 albums, and one piece of advice for the audience.
That's unfair, Jesse, because there are just too many good albums out there.
I hear you. I hear you. That's
there's too many good albums. Okay, so my three most influential saxophone players are going to be Charlie Parker, Jerry Mulligan, and Lenny Pickett.
okay. All right. Amazing.
Because they each influence me in different ways on different instruments. There's, in my opinion, no one more melodic and pleasant than Jerry Mulligan, while also at the same time being a technical beast. Charlie Parker changed the jazz vocabulary for every instrument forever.
Right.
So, you know, my Omni book from 1993 is still right over there in that shelf, and I still get it out when I'm getting my head back into the jazz space. And you know, Lenny Pickett.
Like if you don't own an Omni book, if it doesn't have some tears and the spine is a bit broken.
That's right. The cover of mine is gone.
Right.
It's full of coffee stains, and it's highlighted throughout.
Right.
And it's yellow. And the other person I mentioned was Lenny Pickett.
Yeah.
You know, I was 13, 14 years old the first time I heard Lenny Pickett on Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
And it was like, man, I want to play like that. And at age 46, I hear Lenny and I still say, man, I want to play like that.
That's incredible.
So, yep.
What about 2
this is so hard. This is so hard. But I think if I had to pick the 2 albums that I've listened to the most in my career, the most in my life, it's going to be Tower of Power live and in living color, 1976 in Sacramento, that Lenny Pickett thing, and then Frank Sinatra with Count Basie live at the Sands.
Okay.
That is the definition of swing.
Yeah, man. Okay. The 2 good ones. And would you please leave the saxophone community with a piece of advice?
Absolutely. Music business. Music business is 2 words. I hear young people say, I want to go into the music business. Or I hear folks who are already established in the retail wholesale side of things say, I'm in the music business. And there's 2 words to that phrase that have 2 meanings to those 2 different pools of people. For the young person coming up, or even the established musician who's looking to get more work, to get more gigs, to develop another income stream, realize you have to be adept at the music business side, because you're not going to support yourself just by playing gigs, period. Even the best Broadway musicians, and those guys and gals are the best, and they make good money. They also typically have a teaching load, or they're doing arranging, they're doing writing. You know, is there a better reed player than Dan Higgins, who's been on every soundtrack ever?
Right.
Dan also teaches and arranges.
Right.
So he's very adept at that business side. You know, unfortunately or fortunately, you've got to be up on social media. You've got to know how to do that. You have to network yourself as a person. So for those people that are primarily players, music business, and you've got to do that.
Yeah.
And for folks on the flip side, where I am now in the retail wholesale side, as my boss Craig says regularly, don't forget it's music business. And yes, we spend a lot of time. I spent a lot of time building spreadsheets now,
Right.
developing pricing, developing marketing strategies, developing talking points. All of these things needed to sell instruments, to promote the brand. However, music business. The other piece of the business is music.
Right.
We exist to put instruments in the hands of players, students, parents. Music is supposed to be fun.
Right.
Band is supposed to be fun. Orchestra is supposed to be fun. And if we lose sight of the why are we building these spreadsheets? Why are we creating a price point? Why are we creating this Facebook post? It's all to help people make music.
Right. That's
So, my piece of advice, music business is 2 words.
music business is too weird. That's a t-shirt.
Yeah, music business is 2 words.
Love it.
And the ancillary part of that, and I promise this is the last. I went to this year. I went to a master class that Jeff Coffin did at the University of Kentucky, and I'm not going to use the exact words, but basically he got that same question from a young person at the University of Kentucky. What's your one piece of advice?
Right.
And Jeff basically said, "Don't be a jerk."
Well,
Meaning,
go ahead. Yeah.
there's going to be great players
Yeah.
on every gig.
Mm.
And great players who are also nice people tend to get the call back.
Right.
And in the music retail business, there are a lot of brilliant business folks. The brilliant business folks who are also really nice people tend to develop those lasting relationships.
Yeah, it's
So
all relationships. Yeah.
Yep. And so part of the music business, whatever side you're on, don't be a jerk.
Man, thanks so much for that. That really resonates with me, and I'm excited to continue building this relationship with you. It's such a pleasure getting to know more about your journey, and I hope that this conversation, if you're listening,